goal of this video is to show you campsites outside very close to Red Feather Lake. And so we're going to take a road trip. I'm going to show you the map. It's a 10.6 mile road trip out of Red Feather Lake. And you can just Google it, Lost Lake, and it'll take you right there and you'll see these campsites. But I'm going to take you on a little road trip, and we're going to start with the Ace hardware store because it's kind of the center of town. If you have an emergency, first you call the hardware store, then you call 911. That's the way it's done up here, because anybody that's connected to 911 is in that hardware store. The general store is across the street that's got everything you need for camping, plus the owner, Geraldine, on Saturday night with the karaoke at the local bar. Amazing. For a town of 450, they have this state-of-the-art library, 2 electric charging stations. It's open 7 days a week, Wi-Fi 24/7, so it's a great place to use the bathroom. Okay? Here's their water supply, but the problem is there's a pipe coming out there that has no thread, so all you can do is hold a pail. You can't connect a hose to it. What's the solution? Well, as I mentioned, you go to Ace Hardware, they'll give you a shark bite, put it on there, and you're all set with the hose. So set your miles to 0, and we head out of town, and in 1 mile we enter the National Forest and the pavement ends. Okay, and but in only 2.4 miles we have the first little site on the right there that's by this creek called Columbine Creek. A little further down, if you go up that road, there's a huge open area for group camping. But my favorite site is just down on the right, on that same little creek, Columbine Creek, but it's a nice big open area where you can put in the 20-foot bell tent in there, and then you go down and you may put a little tent down below here, have a little fire by the stream, and I really like that stream to cool your feet in the summer and basically connect, however that works with nature, but streams do it for me. Alright, as we just close down the road, on the other side of the road is another site, and there's another little stream there. It's called Lone Pine Creek, and so this is another great little group site, nice and flat. Sometimes the cows come through camp. At this bridge, the 2 streams come together and go into some beaver dams down by the Maxwell Cattle Ranch, which is in this valley. It was homesteaded in the 1800s, and they sell only organic meat online. Okay, now I call this Dead Man's Corner because it's right by the ranch there. You got to pull way out on the right because I saw a 5th wheel and a car just around that bend. You know what I'm saying? This is where I want to have weddings, on the top of that mountain. I call this El Capitan Jr. And I got a perfect tent for a honeymoon up there too, if you want to do that. Look at these sites on the side of the road. Here you can pull in a bunch of vehicles, tents. I think there's 3 fire rings in there. And a little further down the road is another little site that I parked in. I filmed this, I think, 3 or 4 days ago. And it's late April, and I take a walk back where I know you get this beautiful view over Maxwell Ranch, the valley, and it is truly stunning. So I had to shoot a little video. I love these rocks. Okay, here I'm doing my spin thing. And we go on down the road to Kelly's Corner, which is where the road splits, and you can see this is backwoods country the way they make their signs. But long story short, left 1 mile to Lost Lake. In the wintertime, you gotta know what you're doing. We do a lot of winter camping in there, winter hunting, ice fishing, and again, a few ruts in the road, and now we take a left to Lost Lake, and it's like a half a mile, and that half a mile is loaded with group campsites, individual campsites, small lakes, just a beautiful place to camp. I encourage you to go there. And when you get to Lost Lake, there's a bunch of little sites there, small sites, in these aspen groves. So in the fall, it's really to die for. Okay, these are more of the group sites. I think I showed that shot a couple of times. All right, here's a 360 just to show you the vastness of this area for camping. It's beautiful. Then, as I mentioned, some of these good sites are a little bit off the main road, and this is my favorite for weddings. And also, this is where I camp. I'm going to be going up there May 2nd, setting up a big wedding tent there on this beautiful little lake. And actually, the honeymoon tent goes there. I have a little wedding gazebo that I put up with those trees at the end. And if you want to do some buddy mooning, group camping, up by those rocks, I'm going to show you the sweetest little campsite in the world. There's a nice little flat place for like a 4-man tent. And this is the view that you do when you wake up in the morning. So let's head on down the road to Lost Lake, just a few miles. You go by some little lakes, a lot of wildlife, bald eagles, moose, elk, deer. And this is Lost Lake. So it has a lot of day use, but you can also camp all these campsites nearby. So let me give you a kind of a 360 view of this. And we're getting near the end, so if you ever need any help with selecting a site or with equipment or setting up, you give me a call and I would love to help. Helps if I look at the camera, I guess. But I hope you enjoyed this video.